Welcome to the Cork Creative Podcast. With this podcast, we hope to shine a light on the great work being done in local businesses. If you would like to learn more, please visit corkcreative.ie. We have been interviewing local creatives and business people over the past year and have listened to some great advice and lessons learned. With that in mind, we've decided to do a series on business supports and delve into the local offerings that can aid both new and established businesses. Today we speak to Peter Walsh, Chairman of Brookpark Business Centre in Dunmanway. Brookpark is an advanced technology business centre featuring conference, training, boardroom, offices, co-working and hot desk facilities. Peter tells us the story of how Brookpark came about, what Brookpark can offer local businesses, the importance of community to the centre, and how Brookpark hopes to serve as a blueprint for other businesses to become more sustainable. So you're very welcome to Cork Creative, Peter. Tell us the story of Brookpark Business Centre and Brookpark Enterprise Centre.
Thanks for having me here. Brookpark Business Centre and Enterprise Centre, I suppose, is a community development here in Dunmanway. Mm-hmm. I suppose, like any development, it came out of losing jobs in the area, feeling that the community had to get together to, do something for themselves. Mm-hmm. So there was a plan in place to develop a kind of an enterprise centre and food hubs here in Dunmanway, supported by Enterprise Ireland and Cork County Council. So I suppose I got involved as chairman of the Dunmanway Enterprise Network at the time, and the project had kind of stalled and didn't seem to be moving. So we got a band of merry men together and women, local business people and community activists. And we started on a journey, I suppose, to get the centre built, and we formulated a business plan. And after a few bumps in the road, we got going, and the centre opened in 2018. Okay. So that's how we got going. We set about generating business and activity around the centre. The centre itself has 4 units. There's 3 startup units and a business centre. The business centre has 1 gigabyte connectivity, which we got from AIR, and we're delighted that they supported us. It has been crucial in advertising the site. Yeah. Obviously, connectivity is a huge issue for every business. Business centre itself then comprises of some office suites, hot desk co-working space. We have a conference training room facility here as well as a boardroom, and we have kind of canteen catering facilities on site as well, so we can cater for different events. Yeah. And we have a good mix of stuff going on here, which you need in a small community. We don't have all our eggs in one basket. Yeah. So we can offer a lot to individual clients, small companies and community groups and business groups that we can, facilitate them here in Dunmanway in the heart of West Cork.
You yourself are deeply immersed in the business of and campaigning for better rural connectivity with Brookpark Open Out Limited. How integral do you think connectivity is to the ongoing viability of rural Ireland?
Well, it's an understatement, really. Yeah. It's the only show in town. Yeah. If you don't have connectivity now, you have nothing. And I think that's been proven during the lockdown, particularly. Yeah. It's something we identified early on as a crucial part of the business plan here, was to have good broadband and good internal Wi-Fi and systems, so that people could operate. Our first client actually was in the animation business. Okay. Whereas it took him maybe 4 or 5 hours on a Friday night to download his work for the week.
I feel his pain.
You feel his pain. So he was able to do it in a matter of a couple of seconds here, literally a couple of seconds on a Friday evening. And that meant so much to him. Yeah. So from any business involved, it doesn't matter how small, connectivity from business dealings, social media, downloading files and just general connectivity, it's essential for every business. I kind of started up a side business then as well. I was in the grocery trade. I was listening to people over the counter for years talking about bad mobile reception, no broadband, what are they going to do about it? And obviously the national broadband plan has been mooted and, is going through a very snail's pace progress.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, it's the here and now. So I suppose Brookpark provides, connectivity for somebody in a fixed location here in West Cork, so that if they have poor broadband a couple of miles out, they have the option to come here, and work professionally. And then obviously Open Out is a private business I run myself, but it's bringing connectivity to a particular location. So whether it's a house or a business, it could be mobile phone connection. There are lots of solutions out there. And in the recent couple of months now, we've been advising, because we offer a consultancy service, is that anybody who has problems with broadband, that the new Starlink system system, and there'll be other systems coming along. It's the ultimate solution, and that they don't have to wait for the National Broadband Plan, and that they can get what their business needs to grow. They don't have those headaches and nightmares of not having connectivity. So the whole thing is kind of linked, you know, and it's like, you know, electricity or telephones back in the day, you know, broadband connectivity, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's essential.
Essential to businesses, of course. And back to Brookpark, like, what do you offer for the remote worker looking to put their commute behind them?
I suppose, look, in facilities terms, we have co-working and hot desking spaces here. I suppose it's kind of like, we're a small community enterprise centre, so it's kind of like a family. So, you know, when they come here, they're made welcome. We look after their individual needs, because not everybody is the same. Open plan, we have individual offices, we have private working spaces, and the charges that we, you know, that we have are I would consider low. And I suppose that's, you know, we don't want to inhibit people coming here. We want to encourage them, and we want to make it easier for them to work remotely so that they don't have to travel. They're kind of part of the family when they get in the door.
It's a great thing for I suppose the community as well. If people aren't travelling, say, up miles, like up to Cork every day, it makes a big difference to local communities, local rural communities, that instead of like that, they'll be able to get their lunch in town, or, you know, in a local community, as opposed to driving miles and miles. You know?
Exactly. And I suppose during the lockdown, people had to stay at home, so they know that not necessarily they could come to a hub every day because everyone was social distancing. But now that, you know, hopefully we're over COVID, that people can come to the hubs again, you know, in good numbers, and that they can, you know, they don't necessarily have to come every day, but it breaks the week for them. Sometimes, as you say, it could be blended working. They could be travelling to the city. It will reduce their costs, obviously, travel costs, and the price of fuel at the moment, you know, is incredibly inhibitive to travel. So, like, that's what we're promoting is, you know, local working, you know, having the broadband, having, you know, a good professional working environment, and that they can be as efficient, if not more efficient, working from a remote area than you know, travelling and spending time in traffic.
And I suppose too, like, sometimes it might feel a little bit isolated if you're working from home all the time, whereas if you can come maybe even for a day a week into a place like this and see other people and just engage with other people, it also helps mental health as well. You know?
Absolutely. And that's something we touched on there recently. Brookpark was one of the founding members of Grow Remote West Cork. It's a collaboration between the different hubs, and obviously Ludgate and Skibbereen, Bantry Bay works in Bantry. There's a new mixed co-working hub opening in Clonakilty. So we've come together to offer remote workers that support maybe that connectivity between people in their area, but also in the different hubs, and to, I suppose, promote the supports and different things that people mightn't be aware of. So that, you know, you can have a community, you can have that work feel, even though you're working remotely, you know, you can come meet people. So we'll be having in-person coffee mornings and stuff in the different hubs, and different events that might be of interest to remote workers, to support them, and maybe encourage people who aren't remote working maybe to look at that option and say, look, maybe my life could be better than sitting in the car at 7 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I can have that work-life balance and do my bit for the environment, you know, and do my bit for my local community. It can be good.
It's probably a good form of networking as well. If you might meet other people that might help you out in different aspects of your business.
Particularly in creativity. Like, I mean, there's so much creativity in West Cork, you know, and people, you know, there might be somebody living down the road that, you know, as you know, Thomas, our original guy who was involved in the animation business, like was, you know, doing subcontract work for Warner Brothers, and, you know, somebody could be watching a movie and say, you know, isn't that great, and why can't it be made here? And look, you know, someone working up the road is doing it. So like there's opportunities there for as you say, networking and you know, group think synergies, you know. It could be in a community project, you know, not just for business, but it's all about getting people involved and making them feel, you know, part of the community. So you know,
I think Flux Learning might have a little insight here about what services and supports does Brookpark have for startup businesses.
As I always say, you know, when you come to Brookpark, if you just want a desk, a small office, a large office, or a unit, you know, we're the stepping stones. We have links here with the local enterprise office and Cork County Council Enterprise Ireland. So we don't represent them, but you know, when you come to Brookpark, you can be guided in their direction depending on what you want. We kind of help people and we send them in the right direction, and obviously then the building itself supports enterprise, you know, in its nature. We obviously have a training element here as well. Showcasing, you know, if someone is starting a business, they can use our conference space for showcasing and stuff, and like we're very amenable to helping them to get off the ground.
Okay. And how important is the community at Brookpark? In such a vibrant space, it breeds its own innovation and opportunity.
Well, I suppose Brookpark wouldn't be here only for the community, because even though there was funding available from the different agencies, it was the community that got together to put it here. Like, you know, all our clients come from the community. You know, they spread the word, they help us in events. We have a link with the Chamber of Commerce as well. Hopefully now, the fact we're over COVID, you'll see a lot of that being spurred on again, the interaction and the community, you know, helping us here and we helping the community.
And complementing your extensive range of rooms and room types, you also offer online learning opportunities to Brookpark customers. Explain your rationale for the offering and maybe outline some of the courses that are available.
We were developing a training offering here at Brookpark. We had trainers doing first aid, CPR, ADR training, HACCP training. And obviously when COVID hit with social distancing, people couldn't come to training events. A lot of events were cancelled. Businesses still have to carry on, particularly food businesses and healthcare sector. We went about offering an online alternative as well. We partnered up with some of our trainers and then some of the trainers themselves got online.
Okay.
So I suppose we tried to fill that gap. Is there available, but we will be hopefully, looking forward to welcoming trainers and their clients back to the centre as soon as possible as well.
Back in person. So
exactly. There's nothing like personal training.
Oh yeah, that's
and that interaction, the questions, and so we started back already. So we've had a busy month now.
Yeah. Well, it looks very busy outside. So the last 2 years have brought such change. What are your plans for Brookpark in 2022?
I suppose they say a rolling stone gathers no moss. So we've had 2 years of, keeping the centre, relevant to the needs, and it was ever changing, constantly in flux, pardon the pun. During that time, we were developing plans for what we do after the lockdown, and the lockdown also presented with us with certain problems that people might have had, which we're now creating solutions to. One of those is the development of an office pod park here in Brookpark.
Okay.
So we're hoping to develop 6 individual offices, particularly because people were concerned about privacy and security, making phone calls. Their employers as well would have those concerns as well. So this will offer six offices for that particular purpose as well. So they're accessible 24/7, but they'll also have the support of the business centre here, so they can come in for a cup of coffee and that, they can use the training rooms if they have a small business as well, a startup, like we had mentioned, that, it would be a cheap way to get off the ground. And that's one of our plans. The other thing as well we're hoping to develop here is a sustainability plan, because obviously Brookpark has to sustain itself going into the future. Financially is one aspect of it as well, but our responsibility to the overall environment. And we're developing a plan now in conjunction with local enterprise office, their Green for Micro program, and we're looking at a biodiversity program for the site itself, which we're doing in conjunction with Bumblebee Farm. So that's a kind of a 3 to 5 year plan. We'll be starting this year. Part of that then as well is we're hoping to put a solar farm here on site as well, to help with our energy costs, reduce our carbon footprint. So
big thing.
So it's a big thing. So there's only so much we can do. I suppose there's a call out for people in the community as well that might have expertise in these areas to get involved. It can only be a few hours, or it can be, on an advisory level. But we're hoping to use it then as a blueprint, maybe, for other businesses in the area that maybe would like to get onto the sustainability and reduce their carbon footprint, but mightn't know where to start, or might be too busy, that we could present them with a simple plan. Say, look, this worked for us, try this, and that, from that it would grow.
Well, I suppose if a business can see it happening in a place like this, they can see, well, maybe I can actually do it in our business as well, so in terms of sustainability, in terms financially and environmentally, I suppose it's very important.
And like Brookpark being a community organisation as well, we're open, and, people come and go for training and, the different things and events, so that, we're very accessible and people will be able to see what's going on. So we hope that will incentivise more people to go down the sustainability route.
Okay. Brookpark was a Digital Awards finalist in 2020 for the Innovation Hub of the Year category, which, to be fair, is no small achievement. How important is applying for such awards? Is it social proof as to the effectiveness and impact of Brookpark?
We were delighted, obviously, to be nominated as one of the finalists. I suppose it's great to be involved in these competitions because, they give you such exposure. We got national exposure in the national papers. It put Brookpark on the map, not alone within our community, but obviously, the leaders in the particular areas. It allowed us, get on the media and on the radio and give our good, our story to the local community and nationally as well. So I would, encourage anybody to enter these awards because you never know. You could be the one they're looking for, and it's not necessarily the biggest or the people, the groups that might have the spending power or whatever. It's all about what you're doing in your area and how effective and different that is. And our neighbours this year, the Ludgate actually won the category. So like they're the leaders in the field. But it's great for West Cork. That, we have a number of hubs here now actively working together as well in terms of West Cork Grow Remote. You have to put yourself out there. And that's how you get clients, and that's how things happen. And they won't always happen in the way you think they is, but because you're out there and you're being seen, and that's how business and how things happen.
All publicity is good publicity. Exactly. That's it. And as a business owner, founder and chairperson of the Brookpark Committee, what advice would you give to those starting out on their entrepreneurial journey?
I suppose, like everyone that says, the answer to this question is don't.
Oh gosh.
I suppose, look, the last couple of years, anything to do with your own business isn't for the faint heart. I closed the business myself in March 2020 before the lockdown. Something I was involved in for many years, and it's not easy. You're on your own. You have to make it your number one priority every day. It's not for the part-time, the faint-hearted. Something, if you're passionate about something, that's half the battle. You will get knocks. There are barriers there, but it's very rewarding. Even though I closed my own business, I'm involved in a number of other businesses, and it's great to see the success and that happening. And things change and things evolve. You have to kind of evolve with them. Life isn't meant to be easy. And business is certainly not going to be easy either. So you kind of have to have that mettle, I think, when you're an entrepreneur, to take the knocks and move on. And I think it can be very rewarding as well. I'd certainly think twice.
Make sure to put a lot of thought into it. So
put a lot of work and, do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing and that,
it can be an expensive hobby.
It can be an expensive mistake.
Exactly. That's it.
So look, it can be rewarding, and I wouldn't tell anybody not to do it, but just make sure that you have your ducks in a row and that you have your work done and that you're committed to doing it.
Well, thanks very much, Peter, for joining us on Cork Creative. If you want to learn more about Peter and the Enterprise Park here, you can visit all our links on the Cork Creative website.
Thank you.